Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna get into a few things today. I'm gonna talk about Ipetgoat2 again, and this is the last time I'm gonna talk about it and make a video about it. I'm also gonna share a dream I had. This is one of the older dreams I had, probably a couple of years ago now. Um, the only dream where I recall seeing reptilian type beings. I mean, I may have had others, I don't recall any memory, but this was such a clear and vivid dream that I recall it very clearly to this day. And I've had people tell me that I may have possibly been abducted, and I have no memory of it. I don't think that is the case, but if it is, then this dream would be the closest thing to that, to an abduction scenario, because of how similar it is to other abduction accounts. And it wasn't like there weren't like particularly a lot of events. It's not something that's going to take me very long to tell you, but basically I was taken into an underground chamber, or what felt like underground. There was tunnels, very long black tunnels, and it was very dark black. And I was taken into a large room, and I was put into what looked like a bed. And these two people came up to me, and they had green. They looked human actually, but they were not. They had green, scaly skin, yellow eyes, but their facial structure was very similar to that of a human. But that's not what stood out to me in the dream. What really bothered the crap out of me was something that's just gonna absolutely freaking blow your mind. They were wearing Nazi uniforms, as in the swastika, the same sort of uniforms you would see Nazi officers wear in World War II. I remember two of them, and they were wearing these uniforms, and they had me on this bed. They kept looking into my eyes, and they kept having these like tubular glass structures that they would place over my eyes, and they had some kind of liquid in them or something. It's really hard to explain. And after they would do that, they would place these tubes over my eyes. They would kind of sit me up and have me watch a screen, and the screen would have playing on it all kinds of really disturbing scenarios, from like war and genocide, and I recall bombs, definitely nuclear explosions. And they would place me back down, and they would put these tubes back over my eyes and make me watch it again. And I've read accounts like this that were very similar, where people were made to watch a screen and watch destruction and things of that nature. So that was basically it. And then I woke up. Very vivid dream, very, very vivid. I wouldn't say it was an astral experience, but it was very vivid. What I want to talk about now, I want to turn my attention back to Ipetgoat2, and what I really feel about it. I've had a lot of epiphanies coming through today, and I really think that we're in a very slow, kind of covert alien takeover, basically. Um, what I want to talk about is this redheaded Jesus looking figure, and who he is, who I think that he is, and what his purpose is in all of this. And I want to talk about this birthing process. So they've been basically creating a new race below ground, a hybrid. I believe it's a alien human hybrid. a reptilian human hybrid that's been in a sort of gestation for eons now. I mean, for a very long time. And basically, what is required to initiate this birthing process is that it has to have life breathed into it. It has to have a sort of cosmic ordained contract. Basically, it's hard to explain, but they need a demigod, a very powerful being, to initiate the spark of life, so that this gestation period can be over and that they could actually be birthed. And I believe that they're going to come out from beneath the surface of the earth. This human hybrid, they're going to come out and they're essentially going to take over. But let's get so who is the Redheaded Jesus figure? I think he's the asteroid. Or he's going to come in an asteroid like the lightning from heaven, like it says in the Bible. And I believe it's going to crash somewhere over the Pacific. And he's going to basically come. He works like a jinn, like a genie. So he's neither good nor evil. He just does what he's told, basically. He's a very, very evolved soul, a very, very powerful soul. I mean, I made the equivalent of like comparing us as single-celled organisms, and he is like an elephant to us. And I believe he is the incarnation of the star Sirius, the dog star. So he is the dog star in physical form, basically. I actually thought he was the sun at first, like the sun incarnated in physical form. But I no longer think that. I think it's the star Sirius, which is responsible for the projector that projects this current reality that we're in, is the star Sirius, as they say. And having made this point, I want to point out that I do believe stars are living. They're living in a much higher dimensional level that we're unable to perceive, not even close. Like, I don't like putting numbers on things, but let's say we're in the third dimension, then star beings, in order for you to even perceive their existence, you would have to be in the 9th, 10th dimension. But they're basically etheric, spiritual, but very powerful oversouls. Maybe a combination of millions of souls. I think that's our path as well. I think the path of the earth and of the human race over eons and millennia, we too will become a star. We'll become a giant oversoul in the galaxy. But we have some unfortunate things going on here. This is not pleasant. This is not nice. I initially thought that the reptilians will lose control over the human race, but I actually think the opposite now. I think that they're going to gain control with their new hybrid. But that doesn't mean they're just going to gain control over the old Earth, the third dimensional Earth. So let me show you an example now of how what I mean by the Sirius being, the jinn, the genie. He's going to breathe the fire of life into the egg so that it can give birth. And let me show you that he is an asteroid. This is an asteroid, so let me kind of switch my attention now. Let's see. All right. See that? He's coming from space. He is the asteroid bringing the fire of life. There's the egg. There's the egg. He's coming down. He's going to land in the Pacific. He's going to go wherever these beings are gestating below the surface, he's going to breathe the fire of life onto the egg. And as he goes through the subterranean realm, they're going to start to awaken. All right. And what they want to do is what is going to result from this once they awaken and come from beneath the surface is he will awaken, and because of his powerful, enormously powerful presence, it's basically going to cause cataclysmic destruction, coronal mass ejection, earthquakes, pole flip, everything. The point I'm trying to make here is that they want to get rid of the human race. They hate us, whoever these controllers are, and it's not just reptilians. There are other beings, there are other races beneath the surface. Locusts, scorpion beings. They hate us, they want us out. They want to bring in this genie from Sirius to initiate the birth, to cause cataclysmic destruction on the surface so that they can come out, take over the earth, while the human race dies off and is killed. Now, that's good. Now let me explain why that's a good thing. Because the only ones who will be able to survive in this paradigm that they'll create are the ones with the reptilian DNA. And by the way, that DNA, that is the mark of the beast that is talked about in the Bible. I don't believe it's a technology. I don't believe it's anything of that sort. It's the actual DNA that is inside you that will not only enable you to be part of the program, but you won't even be able to survive on this new earth, their new earth. We're gonna have our new earth and our new heaven as well too. So without this DNA, you won't be able to survive. So the human race is gonna start dying off, and they're gonna kill us too. They're gonna want to initiate war. They want to try to start a world war. They're gonna crash the market, as all this stuff is shown here. They're gonna create as much chaos and havoc as possible, and those who pass away are hopefully gonna transmute into another dimension or into the new earth, hopefully. And their new earth, what they claim to be their creation, is very corrupted. It's not just the reptilian human hybrid that they're going to create. They've created lots and lots of chimeras mixed with lots of DNA, and there's going to be all kinds of really sick, strange, twisted creatures that also come out of the subterranean realm. And they're going to take over the earth, and the earth as we know it, the third dimensional earth, is going to be destroyed. It's going to be sucked into the black hole sun. That's what Soundgarden sings about. The black hole sun is Nemesis, the dark star. It's going to come, it's going to extract everything that is here and basically suck it into a black hole, and it'll just essentially vanish. And those of us here now will ascend into the new earth, other realms, other similar realms, depending on our level of spiritual evolution. So one more interesting thing I want to talk about is what I think is going to happen incredibly soon. I mean, setting dates is really stupid and I hate it, but in this particular case, I want to point out something very interesting, and I think the recent Ring of Fire solar eclipse is in this. It's actually in this many times, but I think that these 12 blue figures over here are I think this is not months. This is December. This is the month of December, 12 of them. And it's showing different events that are taking place in the month of December, from Hong Kong protests, Donald Trump, impeachment, other things I don't really get, but here is towards the end of the month. Here is the Ring of Fire solar eclipse, and even further on than that, what I believe might be this Sunday, 12/29, is when this asteroid's going to strike Sirius, the dog star. It's not going to be a big impact. I think it's going to be something similar to that of Chelyabinsk in Russia, maybe a little bit more powerful than that. But people are going to go, what the hell? The hell was that? It's going to illuminate the whole sky. It's going to... And that's when everything's going to kick off after that. That's when the stock market's going to crash, when the war is going to start. Like, I mean, do I think it's likely that it's coming this Sunday? No. I think it's very unlikely. But I think certainly over the next year or so, these things are going to play out. So let me show you another Ring of Fire eclipse. So Lily is the moon. This is the sun. This is a ring. She's creating a ring. So why does it go dark? It goes dark because it's an eclipse. See how it's eclipsing? She's illuminated. And what is it saying right here? It's saying to exit during the eclipse. I think this is code telling the elites to go run away in their underground chambers, in their bunkers, hideouts in New Zealand. This is their last opportunity to bolt December 26th during the Ring of Fire eclipse. And I wanted to add that this is a rare eclipse, that this is not common. I think the last time it happened was in February 2012. So just something to point out, that I do believe this is December. And there's a lot of evidence to point to the number 19 too. There's a lot of letter S's in the animation. There is a number of X1X's. I'm gonna have to leave it at that for now, but take it for what you will, and you guys have a good one.